All right, so for this deep dive, we're going to be looking at something a little different.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
We're going to be taking a trip back to 1976 and to Thailand with this classic action film from Mad.
Faha, right.
Sao Ha. Yeah, which I'm told means Saturday 5 for those of us who aren't fluent in Thai.
Yeah, and, looking at this transcript, it's a full movie transcript, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
And there's a lot going on here.
It is very dense.
Like a ton of characters.
Yeah, and storylines, and it's a bit hard to figure out where to start.
Right. Like, how do we even begin to, unpack this and make sense of it for everyone listening?
Yeah, you hear, 5 heroes who can't be killed by bullets. They're going up against all kinds of bad guys. There's romance. There's betrayal. There's, national security threats.
A lot, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, so that's kind of the question for everyone listening. How do we even, get through this this whole movie and make sense of it all?
Yeah. Well, think of us as, your guides through this this jungle of Thai action cinema.
Okay, I like that.
We've got our, transcript here. We've got our metaphorical machetes ready to kind of cut through all the noise.
Nice.
And get to, the core of what this film is.
I love it. Let's get into it.
You ready to dive in?
I am totally ready.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with, the basic foundation of this movie, the legend of the Saturday 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
The movie really doesn't waste any time. It jumps right into it.
Right into it.
The opening narration says, 5 friends who cannot die, bullets ricochet when faced with superior enemies. I mean, it's like a huge statement right off the bat.
They're superhuman.
They're superhuman.
These guys.
It's setting them up as these almost mythical figures. What do you make of that? Starting the movie that way?
Well, I think it's a great way to immediately grab your attention, right? You want to know more about these guys?
Absolutely. And, back then, 1970s action movies, people wanted to see these larger-than-life heroes, right?
For sure.
And it's interesting because they're not just, physically strong. They also have this, spiritual power because their teacher taught them, Buddhist magic.
Oh, right.
So it's this blend of physical and spiritual stuff, which is pretty cool. What do you think about that? How does that make them more interesting?
I think it definitely makes them more interesting than just your typical action heroes,
Yeah, for sure.
And we actually meet these heroes pretty early on in the transcript. We're introduced to Third Yothong, Klingkong Takien, Don Tai Kradon.
Yeah, a lot of names to remember.
A lot of names. And then the other 2 we hear about too, Duea Samsak and Yadnampaya, but they don't talk as much.
Right.
In these early scenes.
Yeah, it's interesting how they focus on, the personal stuff right away.
Oh, yeah?
We get the scene with Klingtag at his house before his ordination ceremony, and it's, super tense right from the start.
You're not kidding. Third, this friend who's been gone forever shows up, and they think he's an old man.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's a funny little moment, but then it gets serious real quick when Kling shows up.
Yeah. How do you feel about Kling showing up all covered in blood?
Oh, man, it's disturbing, right? But he says he hasn't been fighting.
Right.
He just wants to rest on his mom's lap. It's he's looking for comfort or something.
Yeah, something really bad must have happened to him.
Yeah, exactly. And to make things worse, this monk shows up a respected monk, and he tells Kling, you gotta get out of here, you're in danger.
Intense, right.
Super intense. And that's where Third steps up. The monk trusts Third to help Kling.
Oh, okay, so they have a history.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Cool.
And the monk's straight up, if you stay here, you're gonna die. I mean, talk about high stakes.
Yeah, from the beginning, it makes you wonder, what kind of enemy could threaten one of these Saturday 5 guys?
Right, they're supposed to be invincible.
Exactly.
But it seems like there's something out there that can hurt them.
Yeah. This is getting good already.
Right, and this monk, he mentions work to do, these 5 guys have a mission.
I wonder what that could be.
That's what we got to figure out.
Okay, let's do it.
So we go from this, personal crisis with Kling to a Muay Thai fight.
Whoa. Okay, a little bit of a jump there.
Yeah, the story moves fast, and guess who's at this fight?
Ooh.
Third and Dawn.
Really? I wonder what they're doing there.
Well, it seems like this fighter, Ador, is being forced to lose the fight.
So maybe there's some shady stuff going on.
Yeah, maybe some underground stuff that our heroes are going to have to deal with.
Ooh, okay, I see where this is going.
And then we meet Kung, this guy who's on his way to Nakhon Thai, and someone warns him about danger.
Uh-oh, that's never good.
Not good at all. But luckily for him, Third and Dawn offer him a ride.
Oh, wow, what a coincidence.
I know, right? And then it gets even more interesting. A woman named Tan joins them, too.
And who is she?
She's a bit of a mystery. She just says her dad doesn't like the city.
Okay, that's vague.
Super vague. It makes you wonder what her deal is, right?
Definitely suspicious.
Right. And just when you think you've got a handle on things, boom, another subplot.
Oh no, what now?
This one involves Kung's family.
Right.
His own Uncle Kong is trying to kill his dad Kitty Poom to get his money.
Ooh, family drama.
Seriously. And he's going to try to kill Kung, too.
That's messed up.
It is. And this whole thing is revealed by Yodon Krathok, who seems kind of like a simple guy at first.
Oh, so he's like the comic relief.
Yeah, you think so, but then he turns out to be a lot smarter than he looks.
Interesting. So he's like tricking everyone.
Maybe. So it turns out Kong stole some tapes that could expose him.
Oh, so that's why he wants to kill everyone.
Yeah, he needs to get those tapes back. So now the 5 heroes, they're all involved. They got to protect Kung and find those tapes.
Okay, so it started with Kling, but now they're helping Kung too.
It's like they're magnets for trouble.
Yeah, they just can't stay away from it.
And of course, we get a big confrontation. Kong is exposed and we see just how skilled these heroes are.
I bet that fight scene is awesome.
I'm sure it is. And then we move on to a totally different scene. A gambling den.
The gambling den. Okay,
Yeah.
This is getting interesting. What's going on there?
Well, I think it shows us a different side of this world, you know?
Like the criminal underworld.
Exactly. Like there's all this illegal stuff happening beneath the surface.
Makes sense.
So naturally, there's another fight. This time with some local tough guy who underestimates our heroes.
Classic mistake.
I know, right? But before things get too crazy, the police raid the place.
Oh, wow. A police raid.
Yeah, and this is where we meet some important guys. Lieutenant Colonel Termpong, Wirapakorn, and Lieutenant Junior Grade Dwankamal Fayo Hyothin.
Okay, I'm going to need you to repeat those names.
Yeah, they're a mouthful.
Yeah.
We can just call them Termpong and Dwankamal for short.
Okay, much better. So what's their deal?
Well, they're the ones who tell us these 5 guys are Sauha, like a special unit.
So they're not just like random good guys. They're like officially recognized.
Yeah, it seems like they work with the authorities on the down low.
So they're like a secret weapon or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And right away, Termpong and Guankamal give them a new mission.
Oh, really? What is it?
They got to take down this organization called Jaga.
Jaga? What's that?
Or Jaguar sometimes. They're like a super dangerous group. They want a ton of weapons and 2 billion baht.
2 billion a bat. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and they're threatening to attack Bangkok with missiles if they don't get what they want.
Oh, wow. So now it's a national crisis.
Yeah, this is way bigger than anything they've faced before.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, 2 other operatives who went to investigate Jaga, they're gone.
Gone. Like missing.
Missing. No one knows what happened to them.
So this Jaga group is serious business.
Seriously dangerous.
I mean, these Saturday 5 guys, they really have their work cut out for them.
They do. So they get this briefing about their mission, and it's intense.
What do they say?
Well, they got to infiltrate this heavily guarded area where Jaga is hiding out.
Sounds risky.
Super risky. Termpong tells them straight up, no one who's gone in there has ever come out.
Wow. So it's like a suicide mission.
Basically. And we learn that Jaga is so tough, even the Vietnamese call the Saturday 5 the Devil Battalion.
The Devil Battalion. That's like a legendary name.
I know, right? Like, these guys are famous even in other countries.
Wow. So they're like the best of the best.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
And their plan to get into Jaga's territory, they're going to parachute into a jungle.
A jungle. Talk about dangerous.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be rough.
Mm.
But they're tough guys. They can handle it.
All right, so they jump into the jungle, right?
They do. And, of course, things don't go exactly as planned.
Mm.
They get separated.
Oh, no, so they're on their own now.
For now.
Yeah.
Anyway, third and dawn, they end up in this creepy place called Huai Suea Mop, which means the Tiger's Lair.
Tiger's Lair, that sounds scary.
And they meet this old man named Lung Tame.
Okay, and who is he?
Well, he's a grave digger.
A grave digger. In the Tiger's Lair. This is getting weird.
It's definitely weird, but Lung Tame, he knows a lot about the area and the people who live there. Like, he knows all about this group of killers that operate there.
Oh, wow, so he's like an insider.
It seems like it. He even says, if you don't know the rules here, you won't last long.
So he's like warning them?
Maybe. But he also says he's keeping bodies for burial.
What? That's creepy.
Super creepy. And get this, he seems to know they're coming before they even arrive. Like, he has some kind of sixth sense.
Whoa, okay, that's definitely not normal.
Yeah, Ling Tame is a strange one, but they're stuck with him for now.
So what happens next?
Well, they run into another group, Suea-san and his daughter Tane.
Oh, okay, more new characters.
I know, right? And Suea-san does something unexpected. He basically tells Third and Dawn to become Lung Tame's assistants.
Assistants to a grave gunner. That's a strange request.
I know, right? And he doesn't even offer to pay them.
Something's definitely up here.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Luckily, Day shows up and joins them.
Oh, good. So the three of them are together again.
Yeah, and they decide to stick with Lung Tame for now.
I guess they don't have a lot of other options.
Not really. And Lung Tame, he keeps dropping these hints that he's more than just a gravedigger.
Like what kind of hints?
Well, he knows things he shouldn't know.
Yeah.
He has skills that a normal old man wouldn't have.
You think he's connected to Jaga somehow?
It's possible. But then we get a big reveal.
What is it?
Lung Tame is actually Lieutenant Colonel Termpong in disguise. And Taein is Dwonkamal.
No way. So they were undercover this whole time?
That's right. The two operatives that went missing, they were right under their noses.
Whoa. That's a crazy twist. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, it's a good one. So now Termpong, he gives them their next instructions.
What does he say?
He tells them they have to pay their respects to the local boss, Chaopa?
Chaopa. Who's that?
He's like the godfather of this area.
Oh, so they have to like get on his good side.
Exactly. They need to gain his trust if they want to survive here.
Makes sense. So how do they do that?
Well, they meet with Chaopa, and he's surrounded by all these armed guys. It's pretty intimidating.
I bet. And he's not just going to trust them right away.
Nope. He tests them. He makes them prove their skills.
Oh, wow. So it's like a trial.
Yeah. There's even a gun duel between Dia and one of Chaopa's men.
A gun duel? That's intense.
It is. But Dia, he handles it like a pro.
So they pass the test.
They do. They impress Chaopa with their skills, and he seems to accept them.
Good, because they're going to need all the help they can get.
Oh, yeah. And in the middle of all this action and danger, a little romance starts to bloom.
Oh, really? Who's falling in love?
Yeah, and Taein.
Taein. But she's really Dronkamal, right?
That's right. But Day doesn't know that.
Wow, so it's like a forbidden romance.
Kind of. They flirt, they tease each other. It's cute.
A little bit of love in the middle of all this chaos.
Exactly. And even Termpong notices what's going on. He's watching them.
I wonder what he thinks about it.
Maybe he approves. Maybe he sees it as a good thing.
Who knows?
But the mission's not over yet.
Right. They still have to deal with Jaga.
Exactly. And Termpong finally tells Third and Dawn the whole story.
Oh, so what's the real deal?
It's not just about stopping Jaga. They also have to find a diamond.
A diamond? What's so special about a diamond?
This one's worth 1 billion baht.
1 billion baht. Okay, now I'm interested.
And it turns out Jaga is using this diamond as part of their plan.
So it's not just about the money they want. They need the diamond too.
Right. And we find out what they're going to do with the 2 billion baht.
What? Tell me.
They're going to buy a weapon.
What kind of weapon?
A magnetic device that can control aircraft.
Whoa, that's terrifying. Imagine someone controlling planes in the sky.
I know, it's scary stuff. And they want to do it to Bangkok.
They're not messing around.
Not at all. And get this, they're going to launch their attack tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So they're really running out of time.
They are. So they got to come up with a plan, and fast.
What do they do?
Well, first they got to get into Jaga's base, which is heavily guarded.
How do they pull that off?
They go undercover.
Undercover. So they're like spies now.
Basically. They use disguises, and they're really good at it. They even meet the leader of Jaga in Thailand.
Who's that?
He goes by Nono Saras, but he also uses the name Tony.
Okay, so he's got 2 names. That's suspicious.
Very suspicious. It's a tense moment, but they manage to keep their cool.
They're pros.
So they come up with a plan. It's a 2-part plan.
Okay, what's the plan?
They're going to get that diamond back, and they're going to stop Jaga's missile launch.
And how are they going to do that?
Yod and Termpong are going to plant a bomb in the missile room while the others secure different locations.
Sounds like a solid plan.
It does. But there's a twist.
Oh, no, what now?
Tony, he betrays everyone. He wants the diamond for himself.
Whoa, so it's a double cross.
Exactly. And it all comes to a head in the vault where they're keeping the diamond.
What happens?
It's chaos. Guns are firing, explosions are going on.
Sounds crazy.
It is. It's a total free-for-all.
So what happens to the heroes?
Well, Termpong, he makes a tough decision. He tells everyone else to escape while he stays behind to finish the mission.
So he sacrifices himself.
It seems like it. And Dwonkamal, too.
Oh, wow, that's heavy.
Yeah, it
Got
is.
it.
But Third Dawn, Yod, and Kling, they all make it out alive.
And they stop Jaga.
They did. They saved the day, but at a cost.
Yeah, that's a tough ending.
It is. But that's the kind of heroes they are. They're willing to do whatever it takes.
Even if it means giving their lives.
Exactly.
So that's the story of Sao Ha.
That's the story. It's wild, Ray.
Totally wild. It's got everything. Action, romance, betrayal, explosions.
And a diamond worth $1 billion bet.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about that.
So many twists and turns.
And so many characters.
Yeah. I'm still trying to keep all those names straight.
Me too. But what do you think? Like, what makes this movie so special?
Well, I think it's really interesting how they mix these, like, superhero elements with real-world anxieties, you know? Like the Cold War and stuff.
That's true. Like these heroes, they're fighting against something bigger than themselves.
Exactly. I wonder what that says about Thai society at the time.
That's a good question. Like, what were people afraid of? What did they need these heroes to represent?
I don't know, but it makes you think.
It does. And if you're curious to see how it all plays out on screen...
You know, I definitely recommend checking out the full movie Thada 5.
It sounds like a classic.
It is. It's definitely worth a watch.
I'll add it to my list.
Me too.